Let's go live. Are we on the air? All right, double check. Gotta make sure everything's good. We are good on both ends. Let's kick it off. Knicks fans, welcome to another episode of Delusional Knicks Fan Network, where we bring you that Knicks content that you need. Game 1 is here. It came. Knicks got the victory. As expected, I went on a Queen show early in the week and said pretty much that the Knicks were going to prevail. The Knicks were going to dominate the Hawks. This was a wire-to-wire victory. Certain things to clean up. As expected, the Hawks did come out aggressive, playing great defense. But we're going to break it down quarter by quarter to pretty much start from the first. Because it was a battle tested. It's not like it was an easy game. But ultimately, Knicks came through. Let's bust it out. Let's talk about the first quarter, right? First quarter, I thought it was too many turnovers by the Knicks. And that's one thing that Atlanta does. Atlanta feeds off of turnovers. I want to say they were top in the league in producing turnovers and then points off of turnovers. Right, Dyson Daniels came out. Jalen Johnson came out, was forcing turnovers. Cat was turning the ball over off of some misplays. But yet, with all of that, Jalen Brunson came out scorching. Like JB couldn't miss to save his life. I believe he was 6 for 7 from the field, 19 points in the first quarter. So he came out and set the tone. You could saw very aggressive early, come out, get into the paint, a couple assists coming off a floppy, V cuts, attacking. And that was the captain. Jalen Brunson was coming through strong in that aspect. Right. And then with Cat, the fouls, there was early fouls in the first quarter. BS fouls. It was one that he had in the first where it was just like his attempt off a foul, and then he, wrapped his hand around. I'm like, come on, Cat. You Cat still with the nonsense fouls. And the refs. The refs was kind of giving it to Atlanta early. I thought that they were going to set the tone and play around on that aspect. But the Knicks were steady. 19 points from JB was in the rhythm. But then it feels like nobody else was in the rhythm in that first quarter. Right? OG was able to get to the basket, but he had to take it. Cat only had one attempt. Right? So it's like when JB gets it going, everyone else needs to try to find their way. But this is a start that we needed to have because CJ, whenever we get into drop coverage, CJ just get to the mid-range, knocks it down with ease. Like, knock down the bucket with ease whenever CJ got to the mid-range. Let me see if I can switch it up. Yeah. When we're in drop coverage, easily get right down there, mid-range pull-up. Off a pick and roll, he was killing. Right? How we're losing in a guard pick and roll, right? We were losing our coverage. So these are things that we definitely need to clean up in that first quarter. Then, of course, when the Hawks went to their bench, that's the key for the Knicks. They bench. They don't have a bench. Atlanta do not have a bench. Right? And even with Johnson, like, I'm gonna say to kind of start it off, to kind of backtrack, the coaching from Mike Brown I thought was top notch. And the reason why I say that is when he started with Josh on Jalen Johnson. That was the game changer, right? Not OG, right? He put OG on a Congo and had Cat on Dyson Daniels. Completely threw Atlanta off, right? Because the reason why they like to put Cat in those pick and rolls with the Congo to kind of space it. But you switch that with OG being the one that can hedge and then still attack on, still contest that 3-point shot, even though Congo still kind of went off. What's good? So, I thought that initial starting on the defensive end was key. Now, Atlanta's going to have to match it in the next game, but I think that was key. Very crucial, very key for the Knicks to start that way. It took a lot of their sets over. It took a lot of them seeking to do certain sets that they took away that I thought was dope. Edward was good. Appreciate you rocking. I thought that was a dope aspect by coach to kind of go with that. Took a lot of gameplay away, a lot of sets away from Atlanta, and I think that's why it went to literally. I don't think their game plan was to let CJ go off. I do not think that was their game plan. The Knicks took away that aspect as far as. Oh, let me make sure that is good. All right, I don't want to do that. All right, let me hold on 1 second. Let me drop that. All right, and move that over. Right. So they took away that game plan very easily. Right. Then, of course, the second quarter we went with our bench. So you had Mitch in the game. You had Clarkson. You had Deuce. Right. Mitch defense was top notch, even though Mitch played a small amount of minutes. Right. Small amount of minutes. I want to say his minutes was low. 14 minutes. Very productive in those 14 minutes, right? Getting steals, blocking shots, positioning was top notch. Second chance opportunity for Mitch was good. Deuce, we know Deuce's instant offense. All he wants to do is come in and get buckets. Deuce came in, knocked down crucial 3-pointers. And then Jordan Clarkson. I'm going to tell you why Jordan Clarkson was pivotal. All year, right? Clarkson was trying to find his way. He got a couple minutes early in the year, right? 3-point shots wasn't dropping. His defense was horrendous. He got put on the bench. We brought in Kolek. Kolek was knocking down the threes, facilitating. So he got those minutes. Then we brought in Jose Alvarado. Alvarado's was getting those minutes. Then late in the year, Jordan Clarkson was like, I'm not sitting on this bench. I'm going to start playing phenomenal defense. I'm going to start getting offensive rebounds, and I'm going to get into the paint. Mind you, you haven't really seen him take that many 3-point attempts because it's been slacking on a 3. But he's been prevailing on getting to the rack, second chance opportunities. That's where he was making his money maker. And you saw that tonight, which is why he had extended minutes in the fourth quarter. He was creating, getting to the basket, offensive rebounds. Jordan Clarkson, Deuce, Mitch, key bench plays. Like, and this is why the Knicks is going to prevail, because Atlanta do not have a bench. Right? Cannot have a bench. But our problem in that second quarter was guarding the pick and roll. Right? We could not guard. I want to say similar in the first quarter. Happened in the second quarter. Guarding the pick and roll whenever they run guard pick and roll, or even when they run the 4 to 2 guard with Jalen Johnson and Okongwu pick and roll, we get caught up sometimes. Right? Are we going to be in drop coverage, or are we going to switch? That's something that we need to clean up during that time period, right? And then of course we started to force the ball to Cat during that time period, because mind you, Cat only had 1 attempt in the first quarter, so you know that is the key. If he's not getting those touches, he's not going to be productive. Right? He's not going to be into the game, even though it's the playoffs. So they started to feed him more in that second quarter. Right? He was trying to get some touches. He was forcing it. Couple turnovers. I want to say Cat had 5 turnovers last time I checked. It's forcing it. Right? Forcing it. And then, of course, defending the 3-point shot, where you had Jalen Johnson was knocking down a couple of threes coming off a pick and roll. CJ McCollum knocking down threes. Right? But CJ, had 17 at the half. So if the game plan is to let CJ go to work, I'm with it. I'm with it 100%. But CJ had 17 at the half. Knicks pretty much 57-55 going into the halftime. And that's because of Kongu knocked down a 3-point shot after Jalen Johnson penetrated, got into the paint. He got to the paint and kicked it. Knocked down the 3. All right, so the third quarter, right, what transpired in the third was once again a Kongu coming in, spacing the floor out. Atlanta being more aggressive. CJ McCollum still killing, right? But then Josh Hart effort on the defensive end, on a second chance opportunity, just being aggressive. I think my X factor was Landry Shamet going into the series. I might have to change it. That's Josh. That's Josh being aggressive on all the chords, whether it's him grabbing the boards, pushing the paint in transition, as you see right now, get the layup in. Like, Josh was very crucial, and he had to guard Jalen Johnson. Once again, do you know how pivotal that is? That's not OG having to chase Jalen Johnson using his big body. They put Josh on him. And I think Josh was playing great as possible for a potential All-NBA player. Dictatorship, what's going on? Tell me how you feeling, Dictatorship. Game 1 in the books. Knicks wire-to-wire W. What more can we ask for? Bench being productive. Great coaching scheme by the coach. Fourth quarter execution was a little bit horrible, but we're going to get to that. We're still talking about the third quarter of Josh effort. Hacker Mitch. Them going into the Hacker Mitch. That was something that we see. And Mitch wasn't holding it down like he used to do in the other games. But I still think that that'll come around and he'll still prevail. But that also was to Atlantic's whole disadvantage because they were in early foul trouble. They were in the penalty ultra early. So, and with all of that, Jalen Johnson, still, like I stated, all NBA player, 6'8", someone that can penetrate, assist, grab boards. I just think Josh Hart took him completely out the game, to be honest with you. And then, of course, we talk about the fourth quarter. All right, fourth quarter started out on fire. Bench come in with a 9-2 run, and this is when a lineup where they had Deuce, they had Shamet, they had OG, Mitch, and Clarkson. Right? That lineup, at first I'm like, all right, where's it going? Then Deuce got it going. Clarkson was able to get into the paint. Clarkson hit Mitch up with the alley-oop. That was dope. So they started to roll, but then, of course, Cat started to get it going. This is the quarter where you really saw Cat knocking down the three-pointers, Cat getting into the paint, Cat drawing fouls, right? It should have been a flow, but Brunson was on the bench during that time period. So it's like, all right, you go, I go, tit for tat type of offense. Even though we saw at the end of the year, they were running high pick and rolls like this. But this game, it felt like it's either going to be Brunson attacking or Cat attacking. And then, of course, from that aspect, Atlanta knocked down 3 straight three-pointers on miscommunication in that fourth quarter. And this is what I said, that fourth quarter is where we kind of downfall, is where we took that plunge. It's where we took that plunge. Three-point shooting has always been, or three-point defense has always been a kryptonite for the Knicks. How do we defend it, right? Are we going to switch? Are we going to drop? Is it communication? That's something that we got to clean up. Because when you face other teams like the Celtics, who likes to give, they're going to shoot more three-pointers than they do two. Right? That's going to come in handy for that. The Cleveland Cavaliers, another team, if we get deep, they shoot a lot of three-pointers. Donovan Mitchell off the pick and roll. This is something that we need to know how to defend a lot better. But then after that, Knicks went on an 11-0 run after they brought in the starters. They calmed it down, held it down, and pretty much the Knicks was able to prevail. Now, from that aspect, let's take a look at the box scores. Always important. Everybody except for Muhammad Gay is in the negative. So that is from start. The Knicks was belt to ass. From start. Dyson Daniels, only 7 attempts. He was completely out the game. But he was facilitating, right? Either go 2 for 7 from the field, 28%, 0 for 2 from 3-pointers, right? By placing on the defensive end, by placing Hart on Jalen Johnson and Cat on Dyson Daniels, I think that completely took Dyson Daniels out. Completely. And then, of course, he had to guard Brunson all game, who was on a torture in the beginning. So, but he did have 9 rebounds, the 11 assists, which was very crucial. Right? Jalen Johnson, he started to get it going in the second half. 8 for 19, getting into the paint. Right? 3 for 7 from 3-pointers, still 42%. Getting to the line, rebounds. But I think the key is that he did not have his season average of 7 to 8 assists. We kept him below that. That means that he was not facilitating and getting his guys involved. And that's when he's the best. Right? If you see Jalen Johnson with 7 rebounds, 8 to 9 assists, it's going to be a close game. And they possibly going to win. Even with him going and putting up 23 points. So taking away at least one element from Jalen Johnson got us the game. 100%. 100%. Then Okongwu. So for him to only get up 9 attempts, Knicks won right there. Because he was efficient from the 3-point line. He was 66% from 3. He was 6 of 9 from the field, 66% on that aspect. He was efficient. So best believe him getting more attempts is going to be possible. He played 37 minutes. And I think that's another L for them. Atlanta's because Knicks probably played their guys. Actually, no, you look at it, they played fairly even. Fairly even. But Okongwu, on the boards, offensive rebounds, we kept them to 8 offensive rebounds. Last game, they out-rebound us. They killed us on the boards. We couldn't do nothing with Atlanta on the boards. We couldn't. But we prevailed at this game. Hold on, let me check something real quick. So, we held our own on that aspect. Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Was afraid of this guy. I'm not gonna lie. I truly thought he was going to go off on the 3-pointers, him getting into the paint. We know he likes to go to his left hand a lot. I was worried about Alexander Walker. I was. But for him to go 6 for 17, 35%, couldn't ask for anything better. Couldn't. And Mikal was on him. Mikal came in game plan ready. He's like, look, I'm not going to get that much attempts up, but I'm going to play defense. I'm going to guard. That's what he did. 6 for 17, 3 for 8 from 3-point line. It's still 37%, but it wasn't the 7 for 11 that he did the last game. Right? He got to the free throw line, but that's no. 4 assists were fine. He still has 17 as expected. He's still a great player. But the guy that killed us was CJ McCollum. CJ goes for 11 for 20. Came out hot just as much as Brunson came out hot. And I believe the game plan was, if we let CJ go off, let CJ go off. Because he's going to be aggressive. That's going to take away everything else from the other players. Right? The ball is not going to be moving like it used to. Because it's going, Jalen Johnson will penetrate, dish and drive and stuff. They will run their sets. But with this CJ heavy. Why? Because they had Brunson on CJ, so they want to attack Brunson, which is understandable. But Brunson came prepared and ready, and he held his own. He held his own. 4 for 9 from three, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and that's a key. 1 assist. CJ is deadly when he gets into the paint, attack the basket off the bounce, facilitate, get everybody else involved. And then when we go into the bench, right? This is where you can see the Knicks bench so much better. Gabe Vincent, been a Knick killer down in Miami. We seen what he's done for with them. Played about 14 minutes, only 2 shots he got up. Right? No 3-pointer. We'll take that. Jonathan Kuminga. When you saw him in the game, he's forcing shots. He was forcing shots. Right? He was not ready to play within that offense. He's forcing it. He's forcing the baskets. But he go 3 for 7. There was some tough buckets of him getting into the basket, him getting to the rack, being aggressive. But he just got there. He's still trying to find his way. It's going to take time for Jonathan Kuminga, but he's going to be home in Cancun by the time he figures it out. That's going to be next year. Ricochet, see, low minutes, right? But Muhammad is a guy that I'm worried about because of his length, right? He can knock down the mid-range shot. And he was aggressive. Even though in that 10 minutes I saw something that I'm like, okay, we got to be careful with this dude. We got to be careful. He was the only player with a plus minus as a +1. Still a +1. But when he was on the floor, they were productive. They were productive. Let's run through our Knickerbockers really quickly. OG playing 37 minutes. Tell me that ankle scare did not have everybody sitting at the edge of the bed, the couch, wherever they was. I thought it was I thought it was the same ankle that he sprained. I'm sitting there like, it's a wrap for us. It's a wrap for us. OG sprained that ankle. He goes down off of attacking the basket. He had to limp out. I was like, it's done. But give it up for Jordan Clarkson doing his holistic rub, getting the ankle come back in. OG comes back into the game. I was like, okay, because we need OG. Because technically, who's our third scorer? When you look at it, this whole entire year, right? Mikal has been doing his thing, but Mikal still is trying to find his way on when to be aggressive, when to pass, when he's playing with Cat, and he's playing with Brunson. OG don't got that problem. Why? Because OG is the spacer. OG is the attacker. OG cuts. Right? A lot of the play calls are implemented for OG to attack the basket with his big frame. Mikal on the other end, Mikal is a transition guy. He's a swing guy. He's the hockey assist guy. Right? Sometimes that don't translate into the buckets. But OG, efficient. With only 9 points, and you still put up 18. Efficient. Couldn't ask for a better wingman. 2 for 3 from 3-pointer. Efficient. 4 for 4 from the line. 8 boards. Very crucial. 1 steal. We'll take it. 3 fouls. +9. We'll take it. Josh Hart. 14 rebounds. Like I stated before, I thought that Landry Shamet would be the X factor. Why I say that is coming off the bench. Someone to space the floor. Someone that could ball handle. Someone that could be the front line of defense and knock down the shots. It's here. Jerome, what it do? We appreciate you, Jerome. We appreciate you rockers with us, Jerome, right? Jerome Rome in the house. I said Jerome to the Sorry, I apologize, Jerome. You probably get that your whole entire life. But we appreciate you rocking with us, Jerome. But yeah, Josh Hart with 14 rebounds, heart and soul of the team, 5 assists, 4 for 8 from the field, 11 points. Like, Josh could have had the triple double tonight. He's the X factor for this series. If Josh continued to play like that, and mind you, all regular season, right? All regular season, Josh is up and down play. He'll give you double doubles here, give you triple double here. But, you know, at the end of the year, his energy wasn't there. We know he's going to show it for the playoffs. That's one thing he's going to do. And for him to be this productive on the rebounding while guarding Jalen Johnson, I'm telling you, he has to got defensive player tonight. Jackal, what it do? Jackal in here, Jackal. 1-0. 1-0 to start it. Feeling good. We're feeling good. We're talking about Josh Smith being an X factor tonight with 14 rebounds, 5 assists, 11 points, doing all of this while guarding Jalen Johnson. Crazy. And then we talked about Cat. So Cat, 6 for 13 from the field, right? 4 for 6. I want to say a big bulk of those baskets came in the second half. He only had 1 attempt in the first quarter. Tried to get it going in the second, was forcing it. Lots of turnovers, 5 turnovers to be exact for Cat. Right, so we saw those turnovers. That's only because JB had that early start. JB was putting in work. And you know, Cat, like, I want to get my touches. Let me get it going. And he did. He did eventually. 6 for 13, we like that. 3 for 4 from three-pointer. I think that's the crucial part for Cat. Not even the rebounding, not the 2 offensive rebounds, right? Not the 4 assists. I think him going 3 for 4 from three-point line because of how he got those, right? Off of a pick and pop, knocked it down. Off a broken play, knocked it down. And I think he had one heave where he knocked it down. In rhythm three-pointer, right? Cat, and look, on key, you saw it in a replay. Cat spacing the floor is going to open up for his assist. And then on the defensive end, how many block shots, Cat? 3 block shots from Cat. There was a stat that was on Twitter to where he held the team to a 23% shooting while he was there. Oh, Jerome, don't even talk about the green team, Jerome. The sentiments are the same. We don't talk about that team until it's go time. Until that second round, and we're gonna bring all that F Boston energy. Definitely. But yeah, we feel the same way. I like Jaylen Brown. That's probably the only player I like over there. But we got finished business over here, Jerome. We got finished. Definitely. I don't like Boston. I don't like the Bruins. I don't like the Sox. Kwame, what's going on, Kwame? Knicks will get the chip this year. It's so amazing to watch. Kwame, it's more than amazing to watch, my brother. The relevancy of just being a Knicks fan right now is at the all-time high. I've always stated before, and this is where I got my name Delusional from, is being a Knicks fan and saying that we're going to win. I always get, oh yeah, you delusional. You're delusional. Knicks can't win. Knicks will never win. Knicks won't be good. We're good. For years now. Since we got Leon Rose, we've been good. Since we had Tibbs, we've been good. Since we got Jalen Brunson, we've been good. This is our second year back-to-back with 50 wins. We had 51 and then now 53. As a Knicks fan, you couldn't ask for more, right? In the last, 3 or 4 years, 33 victories in the playoffs. That's, I think, third most in the Eastern Conference. Right? What more can we ask? This is why you build the team. This is why you build the team. This is why you brought in Leon Rose. Now, there's still more tweaking to do. You know, I think we need a small forward that can put the ball on the floor and create. You know, because as much as I like OG is not someone that's going to break you down off the dribble. He's a system guy. Let's see. Nuggets are better. Finna take it all this year. Frisco, I don't know. Frisco, tell me about this. The Knicks destroyed the Nuggets twice this year. We've always had the Nuggets number since we had Jalen Brunson. Just look at the numbers, Frisco. They're going to be good. They handle their business against the Wolves, and I think they're going to beat the Wolves. I know the Wolves had their number the last couple years. Frisco, I think they're going to do their thing this year. Well, we'll see. First of all, Frisco, they got to get past OKC. Right? OKC is still a champs. Still a defending champs. But the way Nurkic is playing right now, as well as what's your point guard? I forgot his name. But he's good. He's good. He's definitely balling as well. So we'll see. Knicks will win it all. See, that's what I'm talking about, Raphael. Raphael knows what he's talking about. Raphael knows 100% what he's talking about. But then, of course, we talk about Mikal Bridges. Now, we know with Mikal, sometimes the stats are not going to always show up in the column. Says Knicks are nasty, no doubt, but we still underlook Murray. Yes, I can't say you guys are underlooked. You guys are I think a lot of people put the Nuggets to win the West, or at least to go to the Western Conference Finals to play the. I gotta look at the bracket though. Let me pull up the bracket so I know who's gonna play each other later on, because I don't want to say because the Nuggets could potentially play OKC in the next round. Okay, no. So y'all gotta go through Wemby. Yeah, I gotta go through Wemby. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. good luck with that, Frisco. Look, yeah, I gotta go through Wemby. That's gonna be a challenge, though. I don't know the record, but that's gonna be top notch. That's gonna be top notch. So, but yeah, Jamal Murray, he's a Knick killer. He's 100% a Knick killer. So expect him to go off. Look, tonight game, too many of our players was looking for calls that were not coming. Yeah, yes. Knicks always been looking for calls. Knicks always been looking for calls, Raphael. That's one thing. But we did go to the line more than Atlanta. Knicks went to the line 30 times. And thank you, God, that we at least knocked down 25 and we only missed 5 and was 83%. Knicks has been atrocious heading to the free throw line in tight situations. But back to Mikal. Mikal is always efficient. 5 for 9 from the field, 55%, but he only 9 attempts. Pretty much 1 for 4 for 3. Mikal needs to start knocking out those 3-pointers in those crucial minutes. He needs to. You know, he didn't get to the free throw line as expected. 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. But he still was a +4 with 11 points. 31 minutes. I think Mikal did his job. Couldn't ask for more from Mikal. Right? Had a steal on a fast break. Knocked it down. Had some assists. Crucial moments. Did his thing. But most importantly, him being able to guard and be on Alexander Walker and keep him to a low percentage, I'll take that any day. Then, of course, Captain started out hot, was ultra efficient, but then he was silent. He said, Mikal, get the nosebleeds. You know that two-hander come down. But we needed that. We needed that tonight. I think he had a few dunks tonight off of some steals. So let that man get them nosebleeds, as much nosebleeds as he need. Put some tissue on the bench. But Captain clutch, right? 9 for 22. Do I think Brunson took way too many shots? There were certain moments where I'm like, yo, pass the ball up. He waited for the shot clock to be down late. I'm like, and he said it himself in the interview. Fourth quarter execution wasn't there. He felt like the guys could do better. But I think that lands with Brunson. That lands with Brunson for us to be better. You're the point guard. Get us in our set. Get us in our situation good. All right? Get us ready. But 9 for 22, 40%. That's not what we're used to, JB. 3 for 4 from three-pointer. We'll take that. 75% any given Sunday. We know that. 7 for 8 from the free throw line. We'll take that. I do appreciate the 1 offensive rebound, the 5 boards, the 7 assists. I do appreciate that. But 2 turnovers from JB. But he was a +5. Right? Mitchell Robinson came into the game, caught the alley-oop, and got to the free throw line. Right? When they went to the hack of Mitch, 1 for 4. You got to knock your free throws, Mitch. You got to knock your free throws. You got to. Right? Raphael said he was trying hard. I get it. I get it. You had that early start. You were knocking down those shots. Knocking it down. Like he couldn't miss in the first. But in the second, you saw that you was cooling down. You gotta get your guys involved. You gotta facilitate. You gotta do something. And a lot of the shots were ultra contested. I could see if you get into the paint, you do your pump fake, and you're open, they're sitting on that. If they're sitting on you getting into doing your Brunson turnaround floaters, kick it out. Right? OG a knock down that corner 3. Cat wouldn't mind going on the ISO play. But I don't want to hit too hard on Captain because he got us here. He got us. He set the tone early with those 19 points. All right, Shaman. I love the aggression from Shaman, even though the shots didn't drop. Like I said, he was supposed to be my X factor. At least he's letting it fly. Going 1 for 5 from the 3-point line. 20% is horrible. 1 for 16 for the entire game. That's still bad. But guess what? He still was a +4. Why? On the defensive end. Right? Still putting a body on people. Still trying to get assists. Still effective. Right? This is something that we learned from Tibbs. You could be effective in the game more than anything. Right? Offense, it's just not the only way for you to be effective on a court. Right? Mr. Robinson, neighborhood in the paint. Mitch is my guy, man. And it's tough because Mitch is a free agent. We gotta pay Mitch whatever he needs to come back. There's no way we let Mitch walk. Right? There's no way we let Mitch walk because we unlocked the key to keep Mitch healthy. Mitch can't play back-to-backs. Right? He's going to be on a minutes restriction all year because don't forget, they kept Mitch at the 20 to 24 minute range. That's where Mitch is effective. Why switch it up? Right? That is where Mitch is effective. It don't make sense to switch it up. And the Knicks realized that. We're not going to switch it up. Mitch is doing good at this slot. And Mitch was putting up 10 points and 10 rebounds in one quarter in certain games. You can't let that walk. Right? Hakaporti is good. I like Hakaporti. He was even knocking down 3-pointers in the G League. But does Coach Brown have faith in going with Hakaporti? No. Because even when they went with the Hacker Mitch, he could have brought in Hakaporti for a second. They went ultra small. OG was at the 5. Hart was at the 4. Landry was at the 3. Deuce was in the game. They went ultra small. That shows you he do not have faith in him. Raphael says, I think it would be a bad idea to let him leave. I agree. But do we go to the apron, the second apron? If we do, then it's tough to bring in players. It's good. It's tough. Knicks is going to have, like, if we win a chip, you bring them back. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. If we win a chip, you bring them back. Because then don't forget, Diawara. Diawara is also a free agent. And that's somebody you need. 6'9" forward that could shoot over 50%. He was a rookie that shot over 40% from the 3-point line. Played defense. He's a deer in his headlights. His first year, right? Let him play summer league this summer. Let him develop. Come back. Who knows? Could be a starter if Knicks make a trade or do certain things. You never know. You never know. All right, let me kind of wrap it up on the stat sheets. Then we'll keep chatting. Probably game planning about the next game. So Deuce, I thought Deuce fourth quarter and third quarter heroics kept us and held us on, because third quarter Atlanta came back. That's when they had the back 3-pointers to cut the lead back to, I think, like 4 when the Knicks was up at 13. Deuce came in, knocked down the 3, right? Got a steal. Not even was it a steal? Let me see. Deuce. No, I don't think it was was it a steal? No, it wasn't a steal. Grabbed some rebounds, pushing the paint. Deuce is always aggressive. That's one thing about him. He's going to let it fly. So for him to go 2 for 4 from the field, 50% from 3, all them other baskets, his mid-range baskets, it's tough buckets. But with Deuce and Clarkson, it's crazy. Okay. RMP 13 Hawks, not going to lie, RMP. Knicks got to the line 30 times compared to the Hawks 19. Massive disadvantage. I'm not going to lie. I said it. Massive disadvantage. Massive. But don't forget, you guys went with the Hacker Mitch. Right? You used a lot of free throws on the Hacker Mitch. I want to say that was 4 free throws alone on that. Actually 5, because they had to get into the penalty to do that. Right? Little tic-tac fouls earlier in the first quarter. But I'm not going to lie. I will be frustrated on that aspect as well. I definitely will be frustrated on that as well, because that free throw disparity difference, it's massive. You're literally talking 19 to 30. 19 to 30. Cat got to the line 10 times. But don't forget, that's been a problem since Knicks won't go deep anyway. Well, I'm a one game at a time player. I'm a one game at a time player. He says just blatantly obvious. Why you think that though? What about the Knicks and their style of play? Do you think sports entertainment is 100%? Will the ratings be better if the Knicks go to the finals? Yes. Will the ratings be good if they go to the Eastern Conference Finals? Yes. As compared to the Hawks, 100%. But don't forget, Indy been going there. Been going to the conference finals the last 2 years. They still a low market team. OKC is a small market. They've been featured. But yes, a lot of people say the league is scripted. But I'm gonna tell you this, RMP, we suffered for years. If you're telling me that there's a script that the Knicks gonna win this year, let us get it. Let us get it. I'll be quiet. If we win the chip this year, I ain't gonna boast, maybe for the whole summer, but then it's back to business when the season come. Right? Let us get this. We've been suffering from years. Last championship was what, 72 or 73? Oh yeah, Hawks definitely. Well, they do suck in the ratings game because y'all were behind. Y'all was running with Trae Young. Trae Young was phenomenal, but behind Jalen Johnson, he's a problem. Going to be all NBA, possibly first year. Right? Y'all got a great team. a good coach. Don't forget though, Jalen Brunson bodied their coach when he was with Utah Jazz, and Brunson was in Dallas. So he hasn't found a way to guard Jalen Brunson in that series in Utah. I don't think he's gonna figure out a way now either. Nah, I don't know about that, Hawks. Trey Young was feared defensively. He was trash. Were you talking about someone that was putting on 24 and 13, led the league in assists multiple years? It's just a defensive end, right? And it made sense. He says, man, I'm talking shit for the next 2 years. Raphael said, listen, that is true. That is true. But no, it's definitely it's definitely something behind that. The fact that the NBA will push for the Knicks to get to the finals, so you will see certain games of where the whistle's going to swing our way. But when we touch down in Atlanta, let's see how the whistle go back there. I don't think the Knicks is going to have that whistle. I think Jalen Johnson going to get to the line 15 times if he becomes aggressive. Alexander Walker going to splash them threes. It's only game one, guys. It's only game one. I'm not tooting my horn and saying we're sweeping or we getting a gentleman's sweep. It's going to be a battle. Coach Snyder, he know how to adjust. And don't forget, Snyder was on the bench with Mike Brown when he coached in L.A., that first year in L.A. So they know each other's tendencies. Says, glad you're honest about it all. You're a stand-up guy for that. Oh no, it's one thing. I didn't play collegiate basketball, but I played college ball for D3, so I understand. Like, ball is ball. Like, it's going to be a pendulum swing 100%. 100%. And I feared, once we said we had to play the Hawks, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, really? But Coach Brown did come out with a game plan that I did not think he was going to do. By putting Josh Hart on Jalen Johnson, changed everything. And then he put OG on a Kongu, not Cat. That changes everything because of the spacing. They thought that they could spam pick and roll and put a Kongu at the 3-point line and Jalen Johnson. But you got Josh and OG that's able to switch. And then you put him on Dyson Daniels. That's forcing Dyson Daniels to actually be more aggressive since he has to guard Cat. And then sometimes they put him on Brunson. I mean, vice versa. So the game plan, I think, from Mike Brown, beautiful. Beautiful. And just like Ralph said, the bench, so much better. Clarkson, pivotal buckets, pivotal offensive rebounding. Deuce, we all know what Deuce going to do, knock down the threes. And then Mitch being a specialist in the paint. Complete team. Complete team. The only thing that's could hurt us is Cat nonsense free fouls, which we saw early in the game, which I was sweating. Sweating like that Key and Peele meme. Cause I'm like, come on, Cat. We can't do that. The offensive foul, once he got hit in the face, he grabbed. Right? 5 personal fouls. Cat did have 5 personal fouls. One more from fouling out. It's Cat, man. It's Cat. But it's going to be a long battle. It's going to be a long battle. If Atlanta doesn't change their game plan and alternate with our counter, because when we came out, that lineup was stacked with how we did the placements. Now it's for Atlanta to come out and switch it up, and we'll see what they do. What's the game plan they're gonna do? What's the set? You know what's the scariest part? I gotta switch it up. We gotta expand it for this one. The scariest part is we did not spam the high pick and roll like we did in the last regular season game when Cat and Brunson was on the same par. We did not spam the high pick and roll. What are we saving that for? I don't know. Maybe we're not showing everybody what we could do so early. But remember in that last game against Atlanta, we were running the pick and roll like perfection. They were paralleled on the drive to where it was ultra tough for them to stay on the corner on the wing and protect the paint. So, Raphael, salute to your daughter and her favorite player being Deuce. Deuce for 3. Let me see. Do I have the...
3-point goal.
So, salute for you and your daughter with that one. So, they still got to drop the high pick and roll. So, we can elevate to another level. We have another level spamming a high pick and roll, parallel getting through. So, whatever Atlanta does, I think my Knicks can counter. I think my Knicks could be prepared on the offensive end. And defensive, I think we still need to be aggressive. I think we still go with the starting defensive game plan that we did. Now, will Jalen Brunson be on fire and be hot like he started? No. So we need other players to get it going. We need other players to be there and hold it down. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle. Game 2 might not be a wire-to-wire victory. We might need to pause, dig out of it. Pause. We might have to grind. Right? We have the best fourth quarter plus minus. We've been spanking teams all year with a plus 23 in the fourth. We're built for the playoffs. We're built for the playoffs. Land is a great team, but you saw it in Jalen. I said Jalen. Dyson Daniels' face. This is something he's not used to. Jalen Johnson in the playoffs. This is something he's not used to. Right? These guys are not used to guarding, going wild. Since I think they lost on purpose this year to Detroit. They would meet again. Yeah. Totally. They wanted us. Oh, what 100%. 100%. But I was saying, like, these guys are not ready for what transpired in the Garden. They're not, right? Dyson Daniels, he heard this all night. This how the Garden was sounding. How I'm going to run a set. How am I going to run a set play? Hopefully that wasn't too loud in your ears. Right? Jalen Johnson, what he heard. Garden rocking. Josh Hart getting around screens. Playing up close and tight. This is what they heard all night. And this is why home court advantage is very important in these playoffs. Which is why I would have loved for the Knicks to get that second seed. So we would have had it throughout the entirety of the playoffs. Except for if we had to face Detroit. Raphael was on fire. I'm gonna have to get some tickets. Last year I went to the Detroit, the first game. I went to the first game where that miraculous comeback in the fourth quarter. Garden was on fire. I went to game 3 at the Garden against the Celtics where we just got demolished from winning the first 2 games. And I went to that Pacers first game, which was devastating. After that Pacers game, I said, "Look, I can't go to no, I can't go to no more playoffs games after that. I was too devastated. I thought I brought the bad luck with that overtime loss. But yeah, I don't know. I might have to if If we go to game, let's see, if game 5, and we're up 3-1, I'll go to that game. I want to see that game. But even when we go to Atlanta, it's a home game. Say it again, Ralph. Say it again. You right, MSG South. You right. It's gonna be 50. Oh, matter of fact, we might. Hopefully they don't do what Philly tried to do. Remember Philly? Philly was trying to buy all the tickets so the Knicks can't show up and do all of that nonsense. Hopefully the Knicks fan base show up and show out. That'd be phenomenal. Oh, you know what, Ralph? How could I forget about that? You're right. I appreciate you being here, Ralph. I do. How could I forget about that? MSG South will be in the house. I have faith in that. So then, oh man, this might be a sweep, Ralph. Ralph was talking about a sweep earlier. This might be a sweep. This might be a sweep. I don't know. We see. We'll see. I'm feeling good though. I'm feeling good overall. Just how we played, the coaching aspect. Let me see. Let me check on Twitter real quick. Let me see. CJ was asked what happened to the play where he kicked Jalen Brunson. I remember that play. He did kick Jalen. Let me see what he says really quickly.
I shot a jumper and Jalen thought we were at a Broadway show. And, he acted it out until they reviewed it, and it's a normal jump shot, nothing there.
That's funny.
Unnecessary, and I look forward to getting my $2,500 back.
That's funny. I remember that. That's the play that he got a technical foul on the jump shot. That's funny. That's funny. Let's take a look around. This was a phenomenal game. If you don't follow Teg has all the highlights on Twitter. Key play. Cat at the podium. Solid game all the way. What he said, Knicks in 5. Knicks in 5. Can I Victory. Let me take the mute off. And we're gonna leave it like that. Knicks in 5. Knicks in 5. This is how we're gonna close it out, ladies and gents. Appreciate y'all rocking and rolling with me. I'm gonna wrap it up so I can go take a shower, get me some food. It is pretty much midnight. This is probably the longest I've been, or the latest I've been live. But once it's Knicks basketball, man, you gotta do it. The next game is on Monday. I'm gonna be working late on Monday, so I might do a post game probably that Tuesday afternoon. Definitely. No, his leg did come out far. It's a well-deserved technical foul. I don't know why he was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get my fine money back. No, you kicked that straight nut shot. It definitely wasn't a natural shooting form or any of that, but that's what he said. Matter of fact, let me take a look around the league before I go. That's one thing. I did not check any of the other games. Cavs took that L. The Raptors took the L, 113-126. And it's funny, wasn't the Raptors the one clapping that they did not have to face the Knicks in the first round, that faced the Cavs, who's going to pretty much run through them? Nuggets beat the Wolves 105-116. That's going to be a challenge because Ant is not 100% healthy. So please expect them to take that L. I think that's going to be a sweep, to be honest with you. Nope, I'll just leave it like that. Yeah, that's going to be a sweep because he's not healthy. Julius, I don't know what Julius did. The Knicks, the Rockets, right? Last minute scratch, no KD. And you expect them, but then of course no Luka and no Reeves. And the Rockets beat the Lakers. I was not expecting that. But first night of the playoffs is phenomenal. Said, oh yeah, the Raptors getting swept. That's a swept series. If the Raptors win one game, Ralph, I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked. Let me just look at the box scores to see what transpired, to be honest with you. I'm going to be shocked, right? Brandon Ingram had 17. Scotty Barnes had 21. That's actually not bad. Barrett, 21. That's actually really good. What happened to Quickly? I see no Emmanuel Quickly, but they had Jamal Sheed. But he still played great, right? They bench played pretty good. 113. You can't ask for that. But he was a minus 19, Brandon Ingram. He got to the line and shot efficient. How was he minus 19? That's crazy. But then let's look over here. Donovan Mitchell, 11 for 20, 55%. You got to... Donovan Mitchell is too nasty. He's too nasty. Right? 4 for 7 from 3. Him and James Harden knocking out three-pointers. He going 8 for 18. Wow, James only went to the free throw line twice. I would have thought he went to 15 times. But 22 and 10, Max Strus. Ooh, that's the difference. Max Strus, 4 for 6 from three-point line. That's the difference. Let me see Mobley. Mobley, only 9 points. Jared Allen, 10 points. It's just going to be a tough series for them. It's just going to be a tough series for them. I don't know if they could prevail or not. It's going to be a tough series. And let's look at the Wolves. Ant, 22. It's not going to get it done. 7 for 19. 36%. It's not going to get it done for Ant. DiVincenzo, let me see. Dante, 12 points. Sorry. You playing 31 minutes, Dante? That's not going to get it done. That's not going to get it done. Well, Nurkic put up a triple-double, I bet. Yep, 25, 11, 13. 30 from Jamal Murray. Yeah, it's a wrap. Yeah, it's a wrap. Then Cameron Johnson. Yeah, it's a wrap. They knocking him out. They knocking him out. But like I said, appreciate you guys. Ralph, you phenomenal, my brother. Thank you for rocking. Thank you for keeping us flowing, letting the entertainment go. Big shout out also to RMP13 Hawks for rolling with us and giving us insight on the Hawks. Hopefully, you know, we sweep them, you know. But it could be a good series though. But we appreciate you for rocking and everyone else that is in here. On that note, on to the next one, guys. We will see y'all soon. And we're gonna play that bass load. We out.
You gon' do it if I say so. I'ma do it for the pesos. I fell in love with the bass load. I fell in love with the bass load. I see the ops staying plain clothes. I see the ops y'all in plain clothes. I fell in love with a waist load. I fell in love with a waist load. Fell in love with going up, it's coming down. It's for clowns, so whenever I show up, it's going down like we drown. Competition try to shake me cause I'm down with the hounds. Competition wanna pay me cause I'm down with the pounds and the ounces. Say I'm too pop, they swearing I get around. They say I'm too big, notorious on the sound. But bitch, I'm Brad Pitt and glorious on the mound. And that's why you do it if I say so. And that's why I do it for the pesos. A nigga fell in love with the bass load. A nigga fell in love with the bass load. I see the fucking ops stay in plain clothes. I see the fucking ops y'all in plain clothes. A nigga fell in love with a waist load. A nigga fell in love with a waist load. A nigga fell in love with the drip, fell in love with the grip, fell in love with the trip, fell in love with the flip, fell in love with the mix, fell in love with the bliss, fell in love with the miss. It's probably why I leave the fucking mob and assist, no cap. I'm probably shaking hands with the glitch. Coin from the whip, smoke a blunt like the lick. Take a ride, then we slide and we watch pieces hit, and that's why you do it if I say so. And that's why I do it for the pesos. A nigga fell in love with the bass load. A nigga fell in love with the bass load. I see the fucking ops stay in plain clothes. I see the fucking ops y'all in plain clothes. A nigga fell in love with a waist load. A nigga fell in love with a waist load. Put baby girl on a pedestal like she bout to hide my rank. Like she bout to drive my tank. Like she bout to slide in my bank. she gon' help me out of my space. And get you bitches out of my face. Mother. And that's why you do it if I say so. And that's why I do it for the pesos. A nigga fell in love with the base load. A nigga fell in love with the base load. I see the fucking ops stay in plain clothes. I see the fucking ops y'all in plain clothes. A nigga fell in love with a waist load. A nigga fell in love with a waist load.